Every single break in my career has come from a man. That's not an easy thing to say, but it's honest. And simply saying it feels like a betrayal. Around the world, women in leadership roles declined in 2018. Not exactly the direction we're looking to go. When you look at S&P 500 companies, well, almost 50% of that workforce is made up of women. A mere 1 in 4 hold executive level positions, and 1 in 20 are taking a CEO seat. While we've made steady progress since the 1960s, we've been stalled for the better part of a decade. What is happening? With all the breakthroughs from the strong and brave women that came before me, I should have been poised to walk into any company and move right up the ladder. But that's not my reality. I want to help make that a reality for our sisters, our nieces, and our daughters. Now, do I think there's a male bias out there? Yes, I think there's a male bias out there. It exists. Is there a wage gap? Absolutely. Are we outnumbered? For sure. Glass ceiling? Still alive and well. But I'm not unpacking any of that today. There's so much out there on these very big and very real issues. What I want to address with you today is something that we can do together to make an impact. Something that I do in my everyday life and you can do as well. Here's the truth. Not all men are ignorant chauvinists that are threatened by women. Truth. In my experience, many men have championed me, promoted me, mentored me, coached me through failures, and been genuinely excited for my success. I was raised to believe that I could be anything, go anywhere, and do anything by the very first man I ever knew and loved. And my mom's a pretty strong cookie, too. I'm the firstborn in a Middle Eastern family. I don't think my dad would admit this today, but he really wanted a boy. As the story goes, he was disappointed for about 30 seconds, met me, and fell in love. I was raised by both my parents to be strong, to work hard, to hustle, to compete, and to win. That wasn't a really strong and popular decision in my dad's culture, but he didn't much care. When I was 16 years old, the first family came to ask for my hand in marriage. He was flabbergasted. And then he had 3 things to say. She's just a baby. She's going to college. Get out of my house. Now, when the second family came, apparently they didn't talk to the first family, he had the same 3 things to say. She's just a baby. She's going to college. Get out of my house. However, he followed it up this time with selling off all of his businesses, packing us up, and moving us from Detroit to Arizona, hoping that out of sight meant out of mind. My parents sacrificed a lot for that decision. They wanted more for their girls, and I am forever grateful for that. So off I went, armed with everything my parents had done for me and what society and my environment had led me to believe. I'd heard about the sisterhood of women that had gone before me and paved the road. Sky was the limit. Astronaut, yes. CEO, yes. Doctor, yes. In my case, a marketing executive with a commercial on during the Super Bowl, the holy grail for marketers everywhere, yes. I had long heard of this good old boys club that worked really hard to keep women out of these high-powered, high-prized, coveted positions, and I was ready for them. I wasn't ready for the thing none of us women want to talk about. When we do talk about it, it's behind closed doors, around the corner, in hushed tones. It's the 800-pound elephant in the room, or what I would later come to know as the pink elephant. The pink elephant also known as the Queen Bee syndrome, also known as Mean Girl syndrome, is the career-killing phenomenon of our generation. I contend it is a contributing factor to why we are stagnating and languishing in middle management. Hard to hear and even harder to say. The Queen Bee study was done in the 1970s, and on its face sounds empowering. You want to be a queen bee? You want to be a boss? Work hard, be cutthroat, be ruthless, and when you get to the top, kick that ladder down. They found in this study that because women were filling these same revolving doors of positions, typically marketing and HR, the perception of options feels very narrow. And so therefore, instead of banding together as we had done in the past to fight for the common good, we see each other as the enemy. It was tough to read study after study, and there have been dozens of these studies, that said that while women felt like other women could be really good leaders, they still didn't want to work for one. I didn't know about any of these studies in the 1990s when I started off in my career. Really excited and encouraged to have a woman boss. And I thought what I would see was a lot of other women working alongside these women, kind of bossing up together. But the reality was, what I saw was a lot of men working for these women and a few women kind of scattered around. Now, what was more frustrating to me was the fact that these women were working on kind of rote, mundane, everyday projects like spreadsheets, my last favorite thing in the whole world. And the guys were getting these highly creative, highly visible stretch assignments. So when I went to my female boss and I asked her for one of these stretch assignments, I got the female pushback. Now, I'd later figure out that was the wrath of the pink elephant, but I didn't know that at the time. So I kind of asked around my friends and my family, and I said, hey, have you guys ever had this? You know what this is? And they all kind of said the same three things. They're jealous of you, you're smarter than them, they're threatened by you. I really didn't know, so I just simply left and went on to another company. In 2011, UCLA did a gender and management study, and they had 60,000 participants. And what they found was that overwhelmingly women preferred male bosses. Even the women leaders themselves preferred a male boss. They said that while women could be good leaders, they felt that they could be bitchy, catty, and emotional. Their words, not mine, and not what you want a so-called sister saying about you. They said that while men could undermine them and bully them as well, it felt worse at the hands of a woman. Now that I could relate to. When I finally got the chance to be somebody's boss, I had a nice team of women, and I was really excited. And I told myself that I was going to give them everything that I'd learned the hard way. I was going to give them my cheat sheet. Everything from how to get a commercial on network TV, all the way to how to dress like a marketing executive, including my coveted Barney salesperson's phone number who could get you in on the early sales for the Louboutin so you always had the good shoes, because that's really important. Now, little did I know that one of those women was the worst kind of mean girl, and I took a big hit. Her sabotage cost me my job, a job that I loved. It didn't matter that she twisted things to fit her narrative, that she had done this before, this was her career plan, and it didn't matter that I was paralyzed by her actions. What mattered to her was she stole my job. And what mattered to me was I was blindsided, and I had no idea how I was going to recover. It was the biggest heartbreak of my career. And it was dealt to me by a woman that I considered an ally, a friend, a partner, and somebody that I had willingly invited into my inner circle. So you might think this pink elephant is a one-way street, but it's not. What I will tell you from that experience is that it was devastating, it was eye-opening, and it shook me to my core. But it was necessary. Necessary so that I understood how important it is to fight for what you know is right, to shake it off when it doesn't go your way, and to learn. A few months went by. I didn't know if I would ever be able to trust another woman again. I didn't know if I would ever be able to really be the boss I wanted to be, the leader that I'd wanted for myself. I didn't even really know if I was ever going to have another job again. But I did. I shook it off Taylor Swift style, and I got another job. And I inherited a whole new team of women. And I will not lie to you, I considered not investing in them. I considered holding them at arm's length, hoarding my information, to do to them what other women had done to me. To trust them felt too hard. I trust my gut. I lead with my gut. And my gut very rarely steers me wrong. And my gut said, don't pull back, lean in. So I did. And I shared information, and I shared knowledge, and I gave them my shoe guy. And it was amazing. And we were unstoppable. It was the squad of my dreams. It was the thing I had always hoped for. See, that's what it could be for all of us. But we have to change what we're doing. These women are still in my life today. They are my tribe. They are my phone a friend. They are my lifeline. They are the people that I call when I need advice, when I need to run a strategy pass, when I need to talk about a frustration. It's them that I call. See, we can all get there, but we have to get there together. Because at the end of the day, it should only be about one thing. You are awesome. That's it. So I'm going to give you 3 things tonight to remember. Number 1, this is not a zero-sum game. A lot of things in life are. If you're playing poker, there's always a winner and a loser. If you're playing with me, you're probably going to win, because if you can't tell, I have 0 poker face. Basketball game, winner, loser. Always. That last pair of Louboutins that goes on sale, only one of us is getting those, and on that one, the money's on me. Until we realize that we are stronger together, we are better together, we will be waiting for this to change forever together. Second thing I want you to remember, be the girl boss you wish you would have had. Don't be afraid, be brave. Don't make these women that work for you struggle. I'm in a culture right now that is really amazing, because while we're at the average of women executives, we are working shoulder to shoulder with the men in our boardroom to empower women in our organization. We are working hard to promote women, to hire women, to make this an environment where we can openly have dialogue about these things. It can really be amazing, and you can shape the culture you're in today. Start talking to other women. Trust me, they've been there. Third thing I want you to remember, stop the shame game. If there's nothing you take out of this room tonight that I tell you, this is what I want you to hear. Stop the gossip. It serves no one. Stop cutting each other down, talking about how short someone's skirt is. Why is she wearing that much makeup? Nobody cares. It adds no value. We're piling on ourselves. We have enough going on. We don't need to do it to ourselves. When this is all said and done, it's not going to be the Super Bowl commercial I remember. I did get it. It's not going to be how many mergers and acquisitions I was a part of, how many pitches I won or lost, how many brands I launched. It's going to be about my legacy. I make it my mission that when I get to the next level, I build a ladder right next to the one I climbed up so women can get up there faster. That's my goal. The greatest moment of my career came after I left that tribe of women that I loved so much, after I mentored a woman that came 6 months after my huge heartbreak, my sabotage. And I had to leave that company because I couldn't get the next opportunity. And the next bigger, better opportunity came from, guess where? A man. So I left that company that I loved and that tribe that I loved. And a couple days after I was gone, I got a phone call. And this girl that was the woman that I was the closest to, that I trusted the most, called to tell me that she was holding an offer letter for the job I vacated. There was a lot of cheers and a few tears and a lot of celebrating. And when we were done celebrating, I said, now there's just one thing left. You've worked hard, it's paid off. I want you to put your hand back. I want you to find the next strong, smart, talented woman and pull her up behind you. That's how we change the narrative. So postscript to that story, she called me a few weeks ago and she said, hey, I did it. And I said, yeah, I know you did it. That was a while ago. And she said, no. I put my hand back. I found the next strong, smart, talented woman, and I pulled her up behind me. That's the legacy that I'm leaving behind. That is the legacy that I am proud of. What's your legacy? Thank you.